Oh my God, it's Sunday already. It seems like the week just ripped by, but hey man, good for us. We're all here, you're here, we're getting ready for another live episode of Shop Talk. Can't wait to hang out with you guys and get this one going. It's going to be awesome. Stick around. Just 4 minutes, we're going live with an episode of Shop Talk. Here it comes. See, I'm constantly learning new stuff about the show. If you hit that button, it shuts off the timer. I'll be damned. Greg White in the house with us. Good to see you, Gus. Toby reacts. Hey, Monk. Steve Burrows, what's up from Detroit? D-Town, well represented with Poppy in the house. Bill Stevens here with us. TJ is a friend of mine, right on Pan Man. Yo, what's up? Good to see you. Now, is this Pan Man Chicago, Pan Man Florida? That was just a joke. There's only one Pan Man. We love you, Ray. All right, man. Listen, it's going to be a killer show. Lance Bachter in here with us from Leesburg, Florida. It's going to be a great show tonight. We got plenty of stuff to get through. Sunday from the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Getting ready to go live with an episode of Shop Talk. Mark's in the house, so you know it's going to be a good one. He even came down the stairs smiling tonight. 50 floors he came down, happy to be here. It's going to be crazy. Troy Phillips in the house. Dakota Dawn, chase number 2. I know him. I know Dawn. Rob Nussbaum, Sunday Fun Day. Rob is our ass prod or associate producer if you don't want to abbreviate. Steve Henderson, hey now. Good to see all you guys, man. Thank you for supporting Shop Talk week after week. We appreciate it, man. If you don't know what's going on here, this is a little motorcycle news and entertainment program we do every Sunday, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We're happy to bring you 90 to 120 minutes of all the bullshit we can fit. Gary Raphael, hello from Flagler Beach. Good to see you here, man. Jared Anderberg, good to have you with us. Lots of guys here. The parking lot is filling up. We're still waiting for a few. Mrs. Monkey, evening all. 2.5 minutes, we're going live. Just enough time for you to grab a drink, kick back, relax, hit the like and share button, and get ready to go live with Shop Talk. Stick around. Okay, Rob Nussbaum, is that code? Had to drain the pool today. I don't recommend it. Is that something I have to look forward to at the doctor's office, or? Oh my God. He says he didn't even find a Baby Ruth bar. Caddyshack reference. Well taken, Mr. Nussbaum. Shot across the bar. Bow. Bar. Bow. I'm still trying to get over that. Drain the pool. I know he didn't mean actual pool. He's got pool, Mark. He's got pool. Oh my God. So we're just a minute and a half out. Crazy talk already. I could just imagine this show is going to come right off the rails tonight. But that's okay as long as you're here with us. Oh, actual pool. Nancy Weems is here with us. See, now we can start the show. Just a minute and 17 seconds. We're going live with this one. I almost think, I don't know. I almost think a minute is enough. We've been waiting all week, right? Let's get this one fired up. Get it out of the station, up on the tracks. Let's go live with this week's installment of Shop Talk. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. Welcome to Sunday Night in the Motorcycle World. It's a show we call Shop Talk. We go live every Sunday at 9 p.m. through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio, 50 floors below street level. We're coming to you live, and not just me here. I got the whole crew in with me tonight. Crew, what's going on?
Hey!
We took your line tonight, Blondie. Look, she's not impressed already.
Come on, that's good shit.
We're starting
right
off
there.
on a bad foot, Mark.
Bad foot? Blackfoot or Badfoot?
Badfoot. That's a wicked cool name for a band, dude.
I'm still stuck on the Babe Ruth and the pole. I don't even know what's going on with it. Well, Nussbaum, you scare me a little bit.
Oh, John Frew's in with us. Chocolate Pepsi Float, Nancy Weems says. I have no idea what that means. Rob Nussbaum, flannel up. Matt, you have entirely too hard of a last name for me even to know, but why does Harley
Podvascus.
Go ahead, try it again.
Podvascus.
Why does Harley FXDC have handbrake, rear brake light issues?
Yeah, they're so overrated.
Because it has like turn signals and stuff.
Because it has non-chopper wiring. That, obviously. Great
Choppers,
show.
6 wires.
Right.
Good.
Great show coming up tonight. We got lots of stuff to talk about. We got some new product stuff. We got an event report on TMMR, which is right around the corner. But we felt like we didn't really give it all we could the last time we published some stuff on YouTube about that. So we have a full report on that. We have a great feature bike, another one from the Klein Collection. And obviously our guest tonight is going to be the Professional Monkey, which I've spent the afternoon going through my man's channel, and I want to hang out with this dude.
I think that might be trouble. I don't know if you guys should be allowed to hang out.
Come on now.
One of all y'all would end up in jail.
It'd be so much fun though. If more than one of us end up in jail, at least we'd have company.
Right? So listen,
no,
the jail and military, it's always best to go to
jail.
Either one as a pair.
No, they would put you in the jail for the jail. Like, seriously?
I'm all right with that.
Yeah. Yep.
But
like
my hat. I have to give a shout out to Team Dream Drives.
Team Dream Rides. You're a little dreamy tonight. Little dreamy.
I'm a little dreamy.
Wow.
That's your girl. You're playing that Moto Wives weekend, right?
I know. I have a logo and everything. I'm so excited.
Oh, there's going to be trouble.
All the banks are going to bail money. No, I mean.
All the banks?
Like airfare. All the little piggy banks.
Oh.
I was going to say, for bail money, I don't see anybody there needing bail money.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yep.
They're all sweet Polly purebred.
They're not all like
no. There's a bunch of trouble in that group.
Mark,
all right.
Susie Yaffe.
Dude, she is hands down one of my favorite people to spend a day with.
Yep.
Right.
So listen, this is like I said, Shop Talk every Sunday 9 p.m. We try to do a bunch of stuff here from the motorcycle world. We keep it semi-professional. I mean, there'll be some actual news headlines. There'll be some some pertinent information about events and stuff. Other than that, it's 90 to 120 minutes, all the bullshit we can fit. We start the whole thing off with a segment we like to call the news. The Shop Talk World Report is brought to you by Law Tigers. Get the compensation you deserve and get back on the road with Law Tigers. Listen to that World Report, like we were really serious about that. Harley-Davidson Homecoming, first up in the news tonight. 2023 dates announced. Can you believe I'm even saying that? 2023 dates announced.
Oh, no, do you have to wear a tux?
Oh, wow, 120.
So I'm assuming, like, because
Never
they're
assume,
announcing
Heather.
more than a year out, it's going to be a kick-ass party.
Well,
I mean, that's like kind of how my brain works. I could be wrong.
Always on the 5s and 10s. I mean, like, listen, seriously, Milwaukee is a great town to hang out in anytime.
Yeah.
Any of Harley's homecomings are fantastic, but the 5s and 10s there are absolutely off the hook. When it comes to 120 years, I can only imagine this is going to be epic like the 100th was. Let's hope that they don't have Elton John sing as the big surprise. But wow, 120 years.
I wasn't there for that. I can't even imagine.
Hey, damn it!
How epically bad that went.
Do you hear? I'm trying to read the news.
Oh, whatever.
Huh? So listen, my favorite thing, as long as we're saying that, one time we were making a joke about that.
One time at band camp,
we were making a joke about Elton John singing at the Harley thing, and it turns out that Chris Simmons is really good friends with him. She was so upset that we said something about it.
Well, there you go.
Sorry, like
one. I love Elton John. Yeah, he's an incredible performer.
He's an amazing performer.
But here you have the Leonard Skinner Nation waiting for the surprise headliner of the 100th anniversary.
Not Rocket Man.
And Candle in the Wind was played.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't working security at that gig. All right, let's get to the news. Wow, 120 years. That's a long damn time. No wonder why they're one of the most recognized brands worldwide. I'm guessing that because they're giving us more than a year's notice, they plan on it being epic. Heather, did you read this news column and actually work it into your commentary before?
Did it really say epic?
So, yeah. There we go. We don't have to read that one. Blondie did it.
Well, this one's over.
That would imply that I actually read it.
So much for the news.
All right, next news. This coming in from Motorcycle Power Sports News. Ryan Dungey comes out of retirement to contest opening rounds of 22 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship. That is insane. Yes. One of the most exciting and unexpected announcements in the history of American motocross. 4-time AMA National Motocross Championship, Ryan Dungey will come out of retirement to contest the opening rounds of 22 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championships sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing.
I don't know. I think that was kind of like a Tom Brady thing. Psych.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a psych. That'll be sick.
He retired and came back.
Yeah, he retired for like 43 seconds.
You mean the psych is the psych is the retirement?
Yeah.
I see.
Right.
So this in from our own social media channels, and I think we have this on our Cycle Source news blog as well. But you guys have been paying attention to us announcing the Legacy Invitational Builders and Legacy Invitations for Smokeout this year. We just announced today Donnie Luce from Don's Garage, and his legacy is Rick Bray. So RKB Customs, no stranger to the custom motorcycle world. Donnie Luce, one of the pillars of it. We're super stoked. Both of these guys are going to be in the Legacy Invitational. You can find out more about that by going to thesmokeoutrally.com. We're making updates to that daily and coming out with new news and information about it. But again, super stoked and honored that they're going to be part of it.
Everybody's a part of that.
I know, right?
The whole thing just blows me away that it's actually happening again. So,
and it's one thing, man, like to say, okay, like we fought the battle and got Salisbury back.
Yeah.
The people of the town of Salisbury are super stoked that we're bringing it back. The people that have attended the event over the years are very excited that it's going to be there. There's more camping. They've cleared more ground. But personally even, and I think to the event at large, like what this means, having some of these original guys who cut their teeth at the Smokeout Rally and made careers and launched a whole movement in style and everything, come back for the first one in the new direction of Smokeout. Like it means an awful lot to us, man. I'm super proud of it.
You know what I'm really hoping for? That they're still excited in 2023.
Wow.
Well, let's just jump ahead.
Oh, man. It's going to be a long night with you tonight, isn't it, smartass?
Dude, I don't think...
Oh, I had too much sugar today.
I don't think they couldn't be if you think about it. So...
Right?
Well, hey, I just remember the Limp Nicky lot, and like every year before Sturgis, I was like, oh.
Dear God.
Dear God, please don't let it happen.
That was one of the only events I used to have to do drinking calisthenics for.
Yeah.
So it was Limp Nicky stuff.
Yeah, you had to train for that like it was a marathon.
At that point, it was lead sled, so that's all we did pretty much. But it was a thought.
Okay, back to the news while we still have sponsors. This also in from Motorcycle Power Sports News. Kyle Wyman charges to Road Atlanta King of the Baggers victory on factory HD Road Glide. Let me say that again. On factory HD Road Glide.
Well, wait a minute. It doesn't mean it was stock from the factory.
No, it's just mostly the fact that the HD part, I know, like that's burning some asses off, right? So
it must be.
Back to that headline. Harley-Davidson Screaming Eagle factory rider Kyle Wyman scored a hard-fought win at Moto America Mission King of the Baggers race at Road Atlanta and Brazelton, Georgia on April 24th. Defending series champion passed for the lead on lap 3 and pulled away to win aboard a race-prepared Harley-Davidson Road Glide motorcycle. James Rispoli finished second on the Vance & Hines Racing Harley-Davidson Road Glide motorcycle. This win definitely feels good, said Wyman following the race. I'm so happy to do it for everyone on the Harley-Davidson Screaming Eagle team. They deserve it so much. They've been working day and night since Daytona to get us here and made some significant improvements to the bike that allowed me to be much more aggressive on the track today. Winning today and having James finish second has really helped us in the points chase. It's definitely helped a lot of the racing fans, too, that have been pulling for Harley-Davidson through all of this stuff.
Did I still want to see one of those, like, live?
Well, I'll tell you what. We saw a number of the ones that were from. I still want to call him Pistol Pete. I can't get it. I can't get it out of my head that he has a new brand. Nowoski Performance. And it really is like last week when we played the video of the guy getting loose in the corner. They really are full-on race machines, and you can see that when you're standing next to the man. Like, the whole engineered tail section and everything that goes into it. It's not like a bunch of guys putting down a beer can and getting on a racetrack on a bagger.
Which there's nothing wrong with that, of course.
No,
but
just
this level,
just not on a racetrack that big.
Yeah, at that level,
I don't know. I think I'm with you, Mark. I think I would like to go see that. I mean, I like all kinds of racing.
Yeah.
But I think I would like to see that. I really do.
Just to see that, the way that
Shots.
they throw those bikes. The way, I like. Whose great
Listen,
idea was that?
The whole professional
Stop
monkey
me right in the middle of my sentence.
The whole professional monkey crew is in the stands today, and this from Satan's Child, just out of nowhere, shots, 20 exclamation points.
I'm in.
Time for shots. Shotski.
Shots. Oh, Shotski.
God. Heather, back to you. All right.
I got nothing.
Next up in the news,
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Also in for motorcycle product news, first official BTR flat track race, full grid. Johnny Lewis debuts new chassis at I-70 half mile. The Royal Enfield Build Train Race flat track program held its first full grid race of the 22 season I-70 Motorsports Park in Odessa, Missouri, where 7 returning riders and 8 new faces took to the track. A larger field of racers combined with a new American flat track venue and some wild weather conditions created a whole new race dynamic, but in the end, there was a familiar face atop the podium. JC Jones topped the first 22 BTR flat track race featuring the full roster, storming to victory ahead of newcomer Zariah Martins and BTR veteran Jillian Dashins.
Oh.
BTR running strong.
They're thrown down.
So
what?
Yeah.
What do you got? That's all you got?
I'm looking to you guys. I'm looking for some support here.
I don't know.
Heather, you're supposed to be our Robin
Hey,
Quivers.
I have some news. We have a new issue out.
Ooh.
There you go.
Can I grab it? Cut to commercial. No, hold on.
Once upon a time, Mark, I actually ran this show. I was the producer. I was the engineer.
Don't act like you do all this by yourself.
No, obviously not. But I'd like to be in charge of a piece of it here and there when I can.
Well, you are right before it goes live.
Breaking news: Taylor ham or pork roll tops the Facebook charts today.
Listen, this is an age-old discussion. You can't try to unghetto pork roll. You just can't do it to me, man. It can't be. Don't fancy up my pork roll. That's going to be a new T-shirt.
Fancy up my pork roll? Wow.
So
somebody's going to get
Gary
yelled at.
Racing, he and I had a conversation in Daytona about pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwiches. So Biketoberfest Daytona, Gary, it's on. I will find a way to bring the pork roll.
That's right.
You just need to cook it.
Invented by John Taylor.
Well,
Heather, did you tell Gary it was the best thing you ever had in your mouth?
No.
Well, you really.
You and I are not on the same, yeah. James Patience, what's up?
Oh, so good to see it. So many people in the stands today, man. I love it. Taylor Ham. See, Pan Man, Taylor Ham.
Taylor Ham's in the stands?
Jim Fletcher. Chris runs the show as long as Heather says it okay. Have I actually become that guy?
Well, I hate
We're
to break
not
the news
Crowther.
to you. Crowther?
Hey,
yeah.
Jim.
You're what the hell's it called? Shamey.
Jim, watch this. Heather don't got that button, son. How you like me now?
Somebody's to be sleeping on the back porch tonight.
That's okay. I got a nice back porch.
So good. No, but seriously, do that again so I can get the new magazine.
Okay.
Do it again. Do it
Do it
again.
again. Do it again.
Go to commercial.
We're having this talk. So, couple things that we talk about here on the show that you might not
Understand?
be cued in on.
Oh.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again guy always comes with rev limiter guy. You know, rev limiter. Burn, burn, burn. And then there's the guy that stands next to him and says, do it again, do it again. We're also coming up with a few hand signals to identify the different people in the segments of the biker culture. So this is our new segment for the hipster chopper guys. Because for some reason, and I don't understand what this has to do with it, but for some reason the new fashion fad in hipster choppers is the 70s porn mustache and the Hawaiian shirt. So that everybody get hip with that. When you see us out there, that's what we got for that. We're working on some other ones, but we're
You're
off
not
to.
supposed to teach them our sign language.
Everybody needs to know.
Okay, what do you got for us, Blondie?
I have a brand new, hot off the presses copy cycle for. Should be hitting mailboxes now. Let's see what's in this issue. Billy Lane's new Cool Hand Speed Company.
We ran a video on that last week.
Yep, Lone Star 2021.
Speaking of rev limiters,
Night of the Troglodytes. All sorts of cool stuff.
So the
Mrs. Madpen. Ready?
Dude, how about this? I almost felt bad. I was gonna send Nick a message and say, "Dude, really? That's your chick?"
Yeah. Have you seen his Instagram? You seen his Instagram page, right?
He did. He married way up. Huh? Why does he do a lot of that on the Instagram page?
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know.
Right on.
And
okay,
again,
wait.
like, you talk about people that are comfortable in their skin. Those two are very comfortable.
Oh yeah.
You know,
right?
like two great people. I mean, Nick Spaghetti, Pencil Spaghetti, he's pretty cool with it. So
okay, hang on.
He is a good guy.
Yes, he is.
Rob Nussbaum took the time to actually print the Wikipedia
Does he have nothing to
on
do?
pork roll. So let me read it to you. Pork roll is a processed meat commonly available in New Jersey and neighboring states. It was developed in 1856 by John Taylor of Trenton and sold as Taylor's Prepared Ham until 1906. Though since then, the food labeling regulations require Taylor and all other manufacturers to label it pork roll. People in northern New Jersey still call it Taylor ham. It's pork roll or is it Taylor ham question is a notable element in New Jersey culture, and the division over what name one uses divide the state along roughly the north-south geographic lines. There you go.
I don't know. All I see is somebody else was talking about jelly beans.
Well, I mean, at this point, he should be a little more concerned about ironing all of his flannels and putting them away for the summer.
I know. What's he going to do?
He's too busy screwing around about pork roll. It's the important things.
What is he going to do? All right, man, listen, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. You're watching Shop Talk. We appreciate all you guys.
By the way, that whole first segment was totally off the rails. I don't even know what the hell happened.
It was, but it's so good. We're going to go real quick and check out some new products, take a quick commercial break. When we come back on the other side, we're bringing our guest in, so don't go anywhere. We have more Shop Talk coming right up for you. Don't go. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. The product spotlight is brought to you by Drag Specialties, the world's largest distributor of aftermarket accessories. Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Grease and Gears TV, and this is your product spotlight. Today's spotlight features Paul Yaffe's 12-inch monkey bars, but here's the thing, man, these are pre-wired. So why is that important? If you do this stuff in your garage, there's like 3% of us that don't absolutely hate wiring. When it comes to extending the wiring for handlebars, even if you're taking this to a shop, it's going to add hours and hours to your bill at the end of the invoice. So nice, simple connectors are all here. It's pretty much plug and play. It's all the work is done for you. So check them out today at DennisKirk.com. Tell them the guys from Grease and Gears Garage sent you.
riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape, there's a flow to the road you share. So go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Proven performance is not some sort of empty slogan or marketing catchphrase, but a way of thinking, a mantra, and something we've practiced every day of the week for the last 6 decades. Designed, manufactured, and tested in the heartland of America. On and off the track, S&S Cycle is the first choice in power sports performance.
Totally missed my cue.
Whoa, what happened?
I didn't know that was the end of the commercial.
Well, he was totally gazing.
I was like, wow, yeah, S&S. I need some parts right now for that
I
other
know.
FXR I'm working on. Because, boy, you know what happened is Denver's Chopper, Chris, your bike's looking good in Easy Rider magazine.
Nice.
I forgot to tell you.
We haven't seen it yet.
I
Damn
know.
it.
I'm waiting to
Really?
see a copy. So Something Wicked made it to the pages of Easy
Oh, no
Riders.
shit.
Yep. Which, hey, you're going to love this. So right away, I send a message to Dave Nichols, the editor over there. And I said, hey, man, how can I get a box of like 10 of those? And, you know, nothing. I see the thought balloon. And I sent him a message back. And I said, listen, I've been waiting 25 years to ask someone else that question. Ah, shit. Yeah, so Classic Easy Rider magazine, if you guys are not hip, is back out and rocking the newsstands, you know, doing their thing, man. Get out and support them. Hit that thing
Apparently,
today.
I'm going to Barnes and Noble tomorrow.
Good.
And every time I think about that bike, I think about that whole circle of bike builds, paint jobs,
Oh,
and
my
drives
God.
to Sturgis. That was
I remember.
72 hours, I think.
Something Wicked was especially heavy, dude, because I
I
had
remember it being 4 o'clock in the morning and
Yeah.
weeding 4 feet of like
Checkerboard.
checkerboard. I was like, I don't think I've ever hated you so much in my life.
we pulled in. That was a 30-day
Yeah.
30-day build, and we pulled in. We still had to put the clutch and throttle cable on in the show hall, and I had to finish a painting because I had
You did. You hung the painting on the wall,
On the
Wet.
wall.
and
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
God. Big D's in the house with us. Good to see you here, man. Mondo, thank you so much for checking out, checking in on us tonight and telling us about the bike. Hey,
We
listen.
love you, Mondo.
So
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen Mondo in like 3
there's
years.
lots of stuff to talk about there. We're hoping to get a show together, an actual live show from Sturgis that has him and some guys from Paco and stuff. We're not going to talk about that right now.
What'd
What
you bring
I
it up
do
for?
want to talk about is our guest tonight. So this was a cat that actually Dennis Kirk turned us on to. And I spent a good part of the day today checking out his page, got a crazy mad YouTube following, and does some really good stuff over there. But
Did you kind of feel like when you were checking them out, like, what rock have I been under that I didn't know about the
I
time
know.
until Dennis Kirk told us?
I know, because he had
Like, I
'cause he
kind of
has so
felt a
much.
little guilty.
Well, and you know, here's the thing about that I'm going to say before we go too far into this, before we bring him on the show. We were just saying in pre-show how, you know, a lot of the stuff that we developed here in Shop Talk has been through the courtesy of COVID. You know, and COVID really did a lot of good things for as many bad things as it did. You know, I'm by no means saying COVID was good, but for a lot of us, it pushed us to do things that we might not otherwise. And there's been a really good rush in citizen journalism and, you know, people taking all of this stuff in different directions. But with that, having a personality like this cat has to deliver some of this stuff is really the recipe for a good program. And we're happy to have him on tonight. So let's go to the airwaves and bring on Professional Monkey and check out what I'm talking about. Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectro Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth. What's up, man? See, I got you.
If that isn't like the perfect intro that I'm like drinking when the thing comes on, like
Keeping it real.
All?
So a lot of your guys are already asking for shots for the Pro Monkey Nation.
I didn't prepare for that. I really didn't.
I don't think you can prepare for that. So where do we start with this? Let's start with your backstory. Like, how do you get to the point? Like, where do you come from? What is your background that gets you to the point that you're addressing the Motorcycle Nation?
Oh man. So I think what it is that I started watching, you know what, back up real quick, Chris, what you said about how COVID, as awful as it was, created this vacuum that we all kind of jumped into because we needed to maintain our sanity. And your guys' virtual motorcycle rally is a prime example that we sat there, the wife and I, like this, because we couldn't go to a rally, which is normally our thing. So we just freaking loved that. Like watching the girls, the bartenders do their tricks and stuff, doing shots on the couch. Like, it was stupid. And it was just shortly after that my wife said, dude, you've been going to Sturgis since you were 13 years old. My dad made really bad choices when I was young. So she said, why don't you do videos on YouTube about your experiences at Sturgis and what to do and not do? And I was like, oh, okay. I just went out in the garage out of just sheer boredom and did this series of like where to stay, where to eat, where to grab a drink, my favorite rides, and then how to ruin your trip if you don't know what you're doing. And it kind of took off from there. And I was like, wow, I guess there's people that are interested in a bald fat guy breaking his motorcycles in the garage, talking about rallies and stuff like that. And that's really where it came from. So I thought there was something, I don't want to say lacking, because I love a ton of channels on YouTube, but I'm second generation. I grew up on the back of my dad's bike. I grew up around various elements in the motorcycle club world and around dudes that were fixing each other's bikes in the rain at a rally in the mud. And that's my childhood. And I didn't feel like that was represented. And so I just jumped in the conversation, and it oddly just took off. And it's been stupid amounts of fun. We have friends all over the world, that we've made from this channel that we then meet at rallies and hang out with. And Satan's Child that was in there earlier saying shots.
Yeah.
We don't miss seeing him at a rally now. You got to see this dude in person. They're in a square inch, isn't tattooed. Everything's pierced. First time I saw him was in Daytona, and I was arguing with a guy about whether I could park my bike there or not, right? That whole argument we've all had a bunch of times. And I look over and I see this dude covered in tattoos, covered in piercings all over his face, and he's just standing there smiling at me, and I go, "You're Satan's child." And he just said, "You're damn right I am." And that's where it came from. It's a lot of fun. We're having a blast.
Well, and you know what, man, like to back you up on what you're saying about, you felt, it seemed like you felt a little awkward saying that there was part of this that wasn't representative. I couldn't agree with you more, because I find myself at my age now feeling like the things that we grew up with, that we were constantly beat into our heads and reinforced, that a lot of that slips away, but it slips away in the popular perspective, what they want to use in marketing and how they want to twist stuff. We talk about something here all the time, the 65%. The regular people that are out there 9 to 5, have a job, making a bike payment, that show up at Myrtle Beach and Daytona and Sturgis and what that actually looks like. I think you speak directly to that. I think that's one of the best things that I've noticed about your program.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. We had a conversation the other day on a live stream where I said it was actually a live stream for channel people, I call them content creators, which is, I'm really uncomfortable with that title. I don't like it, but it was a panel discussion about this for other people that wanted to start. I was like, hell yeah, I'll do that, even though I'm a terrible example. And they said, well, what do you think you should start? And I said, well, I'll tell you right now, when I was watching, one of the things that made me start mine is I would watch a channel, and I was watching this one that I watched regularly, and the person says, well, the first thing you should do is decide what your personal brand is. And it was all about logo and branding and all this other stuff. And I went, whoa, like,
right.
You lost me. You just lost me. Like, to me, it's about your relationship with your audience and who they are and who you are, and connecting with them and connecting them with each other, and then helping us figure out that question none of us can get right. And I got a Milwaukee 8, and yeah, like you said, I worked my ass off to make my bike payment. I can't really afford a stage 2, but I make bad financial decisions, so I'm going to. And what do I need to do? And that's to me, that's the fun. I don't want to hear about your personal brand right now. Like,
it's like
I do that.
They're
I
almost
got a real job. Like, I got to wear that crap.
It's almost like they're asking you to sell out before you've even started.
Yeah.
You just nailed it. Like, you've sold out and you haven't even gotten started.
And that's what's wrong with it. I think the cool thing about what you do is, like, almost you're prepping the idiots not to be idiots. Not like, you know what I mean? Like, don't do this, do that.
And dude, seriously, like, one of the videos I was watching today was how not to get your ass kicked at a motorcycle event.
Right?
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, don't go in there and think that you're somebody that you're not from the gate, or you're going to end up getting drug out of there. So, but again,
the Lone Wolf No Club. That's a whole.
Oh yeah,
that's
right.
a whole thing. Like, and some of the old brothers like to correct me on this, and I knew this. It's not the 60s anymore. So that mentality is different than it is today. And what started that was I was sitting in a bar with a group of from the dominant club in my area, and there was a guy wearing a Lone Wolf No Club patch, but then underneath that, a Florida rocker.
Oh yeah.
And underneath that, it said Nomad. He had a Nomad rocker under that. Yes, like he had just gone and bought all these patches at the My First Biker Vest vendor.
He had a trifecta going on.
Yeah.
And the whole conversation was, well, we're trying to decide how bad to hurt this guy. And I was like, well, why don't I talk to him first? He may have no idea. Yeah. He probably has no idea. He probably has no freaking clue what he's doing. And they were like, we're going to let it go. And that's actually like the beginning of that video was this guy sitting there having his freaking mozzarella sticks at a hiker bar, having no idea the conversation that's taking place.
In his diet, mozzarella sticks and a Diet Coke.
But you know what, man, this is a real thing to talk about. Mark, do you remember not too long ago, I can't remember if it was Target or Walmart actually came out with, they were mass producing Filthy Few shirts.
Yeah, Filthy Few, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is definitely a bad idea. I said, never mind the physical ramifications that can come from this. I'm pretty sure all of that shit has been copywritten.
Right.
And I think if you take it one step further, you actually need to go to the people that are selling the biker in a box.
Yeah.
Because these guys that just bought their first M8,
that's going to be a bad experience.
Right.
Well,
so
and
you gotta go.
Even getting back to the media and the stuff that you're preparing, like even your approach, man. Like I just found it to be so genuine. Like at one part I was watching you do some stuff on the crossbones, and at one point you just said, look, I don't know how to make this more exciting. Like it is what it is. We're putting some lights on a bike. I love that.
I was trying to make it to where I won't die at night on a bike that's only 14 years old. It's not that old, but man, if you go back in time, just 15 years, you realize, like, how did we see? Like, how was that going on the road? Because when I bought that, I bought it in Daytona. Those that don't know, I bought it in Daytona, wasn't planned, and I rode it home. I left my bike there at the shop so I could ride the bones home, and I'm riding it out. What the hell's the road to the Cackleberry? Something Farms Road. You guys know what I'm talking about. I couldn't see nothing. I'm like, I'm gonna die. And the first thing I did was like, this thing needs a bright ass headlight, like immediately. So that was fine. But I own the story of that bike. I when I met my wife a long time ago, I had just bought a Crossbones in 07, early 08. And that poor thing, she backseated on that Springer for years. And I sold it and got a Street Glide, which you're all laughing under your breath because I got rid of something special for something that wasn't, like that. That's what I did. And I regretted it on the ride home. I was like, what have I done? Like, this is terrible. Like, this is a terrible decision. And I said, if I ever found another pewter denim 08 Crossbones that hadn't been chopped up and in a bad way, ruined, that didn't have much miles on it, I'd buy it. And first day of Daytona this year, I walked into Destination Daytona, walked upstairs, and there she sat. And the salesman knew the story from the channel and was bent over laughing when he saw me.
Yeah.
Because he knew there was no negotiation. Like, I was like, the price is what it is, man. You want it or not? Like, you know.
Pay up, sucker.
Yeah, I did. I paid all the money for it.
Hey, so I love it. Drew Woodford just put out the question that, so I shouldn't be wearing my Sons of Narnia cut then. Listen, you shouldn't wear that, but you should definitely tell me where to get that, because I would at least hang that in my closet. That's pretty badass.
No, Drew, you should wear that. Just tell me when and where.
Yeah, listen, go pro, my man. Go pro.
Yeah, go pro. 2 words, go pro.
Live stream.
Oh my God.
You know, I think it's cool that you know the channel is helping. We've said for years that part of what's got to come back to this culture is you know, when people step out of line, they sort of get put back in line to an extent. But you know, to have somebody with the rides and people that don't go there, because we go through it a lot too. People asking, oh, you know, where's the best place to go? And like, you go to Sturgis, the best place to go is not Sturgis. It's everywhere around it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
See town for 2 seconds, get the fuck out and go ride. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and I think the bad thing, Mark, is like, you know, marketing has gone so deep into all of this stuff anymore that you don't get that, because even the influencers are paid to kind of keep you in town and on Main Street and doing the shit that they want you to do. So having that direct link to another perspective, to someone else's purview, you know, that's where this kind of stuff comes in.
oh yeah. And people
you hit on something that's super significant, and I mean no disrespect at all to these channels that this is their job. Like, some of them got big and quit their jobs, and this is their job, and that's fine. No disrespect at all. But I've been really fortunate in my career, and this isn't never going to replace my real gig. And so from the very beginning, my wife and I said, you know what we're going to do? No money. Like we said from the very beginning, like, we accept ad revenue. You know, I mean, the channel's monetized, and YouTube, you know, pays me monthly for ad revenue, but no one pays me nothing.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I
awesome.
actually decline any sort of payment. You can send me parts. Don't get me wrong. I put parts in my bikes. And, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'll tear myself apart and play with this and the other. If it's bad, I won't ever talk about it. But if it's awesome, then yeah, we'll do that. But I don't think people understand. No, I mean it, man. Like, no one's writing me a check. It doesn't happen.
I think that's awesome, because it also gives you the freedom to be genuine and to really speak your mind.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes when you do have the sponsors, and you really have to walk that fine line of you can be honest, but you really can't say it exactly how you want to say it, or
You can't call bullshit when you want.
or you opt for the, if you can't say anything nice, just don't say anything.
Right.
And that's really hard. So I mean, I think that's a great way to handle what you're doing, because
Well, and
you can keep your genuine.
Back to what Mark said, you know, the things that are needed for our culture to move forward again are some of that. You know, some of that, like, there was one thing you were guaranteed of when I was coming up with motorcycle people, you were guaranteed honesty.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sometimes, and I'm pretty sure this wasn't just in Pittsburgh, but I'm pretty sure it was everywhere. If you walked up and said something dumb, or were wearing something dumb, or did something dumb to your motorcycle, somebody was going to tell you in a hurry.
Yeah.
You know, there was plenty of honesty going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the sad part about what was lost. In, you know, nothing against anybody, but almost like the public needs directed. It's like they just, you know, they don't know what to do sometimes when they get in a situation like that. And when they get all nerved up, they make a dumb move, you know? So it's nice to have something that they can look at and make a decision on. Oh, maybe we ought to do this compared to that. And that's good, because, you know, like Chris is saying, the way we grew up, if you did show up with something wrong, or you follow somebody, you know, didn't ask a question before you built something somebody else built, they took it off your bike, or they took your shirt off, or, you know, you ended up getting an ass beaten. So
generally, too, immediately thereafter, 9 times out of 10, you would get somebody that would come out of the group and would take care of you with some follow-up information.
Right.
And help you, figure out what you were doing and the right way to do something.
Pick
So
your
I
teeth
don't
up.
want to just say it was a bunch of badasses what they're ready to dole out hard times, but I think a little bit of that might be good for us again.
Yes.
Because it seems
I think
like
a lot of that might be good for us again. I mean, I'm sorry, like,
Hey,
and not to be a jerk, but people are so soft and they get their feelings hurt, and you offended me. Suck it up, Buttercup.
is my new line is even dogs are pussies these days. You know what I mean? It's like, for Christ's
Hey,
sake.
wait a minute. My dog resembles that remark.
wait. Oh my God! Listen, that's not fair. He's not a pussy. He's just dumb.
He's just stupid. I'm still.
He's brave as hell.
yeah.
He doesn't understand that to go after the cat that's on the other side of the window, somebody needs to open the door.
Yeah, I've come to the
The
conclusion
dog couldn't figure out how to eat a marshmallow.
after 2.5 weeks of having Smalls with me, I've come to the conclusion he really thinks he's a goldfish. So just to let everybody know, the dog has not quite figured out yet he's a dog. So,
Oh, listen, we're getting completely off track.
Oh,
I know, but it's
sorry.
funny.
See, this
There was a track. When was there a track?
Oh my, Ashley Woodford, balls are sensitive. We had an entire conversation
Yes.
with Ashley about why all this is going on. It comes down to balls are sensitive.
It's sad. Now that these guys are
Yeah,
admitting balls are sensitive.
I'm of course I'm a huge fan of my bride. Like she walks on water as far as I'm concerned. She rides a CVO
Chris,
road
take
glide
notes.
with a big ass S&S cam in it, and she, I don't know about language on the channel, but she says SMD a lot. You know what I mean? Like that's her go-to phrase at a rally. Like that's immediate. It's gonna come out. And just the other day, she's like, "Hey, before Sturgis, I want you to. I'm ready to learn how to do a burnout." I'm like, "No, wait, whoa, time out." I don't need to feel like the girl anymore in the relationship.
Hey, at least she wanted to do it at home first instead of in the middle of a parking lot. So you got to give her credit for that.
Yeah.
Hey, right? There was
And you can say whatever you want, by the way.
Yes.
yeah,
Feel
Oh,
free.
okay.
there was
I realize I'm like, because on our live streams we don't have a filter. Like we just kind of let it go, and if we get demonetized, we get demonetized. It's just kind of the fun of it. But I was like, I have to be respectful. I don't want to be that guy that comes in and ruins everything.
we try to keep it. I mean, we try to keep it kind of cool, because we have sponsors and stuff. But it is a natural conversation, so we don't.
And
Golden.
they turned the volume up on my microphone, so you're good. So
Yeah, usually when we're going off the deep end because Mark's lips will start to move and there's no sound.
for years they gave
It's
me a
just
microphone.
mining over there. It's weird.
For years I had a microphone without a plug-in cord. So
Yeah.
That was like the camera without film.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Great, dude. And I think the Chillicothe T-shirt from that year.
He was digging T-shirts out yesterday. He sent me.
Dude.
First of all, this is awesome because anybody that knows our story knows this magazine started by a bunch of guys that were hanging out. Well, we all worked at the Titty Bar. We had a little aftermarket shop, and the year that we started the magazine, we had a night at the strip club. This was the biggest strip club in Pittsburgh, and we had Terry Waggle there. And I bet you if there was less than what, Mark, 6,000 people in
Oh, dude,
in
there was
that building,
The
How
parking
big was
lot-
that place?
it wasn't big
it
enough
wasn't-
for
it wasn't
6,000
big.
people.
No, there was cars
Wasn't big
parked
enough
up
for
and
her.
down the road.
At that point in the night, we were just nonstop fist fighting.
Yeah, it was-
because it was 15, 30 people bachelor parties, and like they would start fighting across the stage, and 5 of us would have to drag them all outside. So it was nonstop fighting.
it was a train wreck.
The whole week that she was there, she traveled with this guy. His name was Doink the Clown, and his whole job was to run her $100,000 lighting
Multi.
unit and do copious amounts of cocaine.
Yeah, multi-100,000, not multi.
That was in his job description.
It was.
But Mark found that T-shirt the other day,
Dude,
and it was the year we started the magazine.
Yeah, I found so many T-shirts. Like, I'm cleaning a closet at the house, and just the crazy shit that I'm finding in that closet's off the charts. So, yeah. Well, the 1,000. We went to Chillicothe in what 2000?
Yeah.
99, something like that. And some girl, I'm on the back of the dresser with Chris, and some girl comes up to us, and I literally took 200 pictures of her, and she was horrible.
Oh, she was working it for the camera,
Oh yeah,
though, boy.
Chris was
working
like,
it.
dude, you're wasting your time. Why are you wasting all that
We
film on
can't
her?
print any of that.
Yeah, and I'm like, don't worry, I never took the lens cap off the camera. So, it was just no.
My brother-in-law taught me an invaluable lesson years ago. We were at a bar. Now, he's not talking about my sister, of course. We're hanging out, and some chick's inappropriate, and she walks away, and I couldn't have been more than 21. He looked over, he goes, little brother, skanks need love, too.
Well, so let's attempt to reel it back into motorcycles here for a minute, because I don't know how we got this far off.
It was fun.
Brilliant.
So even in your approach to mechanical stuff, to doing installs, to assessing products and stuff, you do it like someone, like I'd be calling up him,
Yeah.
And saying, hey man, I'm thinking about doing this blah 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 product. What do you think about it? When I saw the stuff that I've seen on your page, it gives you that same. You call up your buddy and ask him what you think about it, and I think that goes back to parts of this that we desperately need. We need that kind of genuine approach to media.
Well, here's a question: How do you pick what you do next? I mean, is there do you have people send stuff in asking questions about stuff, or you just come up with an idea or a part, or how do you come up with your show agenda?
Well, I don't have one.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my point.
The funniest, the thing that I've made so many people laugh from some really big brands is they'll email me and say we should have a call, and I'm like, whatever. So we're gonna call, and they're like, so what's your plan for the next year? And I go, be badass, drink a lot, have fun, go to rallies. What are you talking about? That's my plan. Like, there's no plan here. Did you not watch the channel? Like, and it how it comes, it's hilarious. I go, well, I want this thing. Like, I want it. I don't have it. I want it. I want to try it. And so I email that company and go, hey, I'm a dumb, fat, bald guy who works on his bike in his garage, but like 750,000 people watch in a month. Would you want to send me the thing? And they almost always go, okay, whatever, and sometimes they'll reply with conditions. And I'm like, nah, I'm not interested anymore. I don't do conditions. Like, it's just you send me, and I don't mean to be a jerk. I just mean like, you're gonna send me the thing. I'm gonna use the thing. If the thing is bad, then I just won't. I'll just tell you it was bad, and we're not. You won't say anything about it. If the thing is awesome and it's what I expected it to be, then we'll talk about it and we'll do a video about it. And the funny thing is, I hear these companies go, "Holy crap!" Like, a whole lot of the things were sold like that. A lot of people bought that thing, and I'm like, awesome. Like the only time it's gone weird for me was the strangest thing. A company that named Olight, which is flashlights, man. That does not fit into what we do, right? Like, but I own Olights because they make pistol lights, and I had a couple of them on a couple of my pistols. And they emailed me and said, we want to send you a flashlight, a video. I'm like, I can't do a freaking video on a flashlight. Other than the whole go to Sturgis, you need one in the campground or you're going to get run over. Other than that. I'm like, I can't think of a way to do a flashlight video. I said, well, we pay commissions. I'm like, well, I don't accept commissions. And it was my wife that says, but donate the commissions. Like, do the video on the flashlight and just tell everyone you're donating the commissions to, we have a shelter here. It's actually not a shelter. It's the agency that accepts kids that have been abused as they kept shots.
Oh yeah.
Right, so anyway,
listen, if we don't do shots here for a minute,
the timing is fantastic. Let me tell you.
If we don't do shots,
Monkey, if you can't tell,
Satan's child is going to lose it.
So Satan's child's going to lose it.
This is for Satan's child. I know. I've been.
So anyway, So there's this agency here that when a child's extracted from a home because of terrible stuff, salute, baby. Anybody out there in the audience, salute.
There you go, Satan.
I don't know, but we're going to have a drinking game. Every time somebody says Satan's child, we're going to have to do a shot.
Mark, do you want me to bring you the fireball? I think I have some in the freezer.
I don't know. Who's driving me home?
I'll drive you home.
There's a couch somewhere,
right? We got a couple couches.
So we said, like, if people buy this flashlight, we'll just donate the commissions to this agency that is where kids go if they've been extracted from a bad situation. And bikers, what do you think happened? Everyone and their mother bought bought 3 flashlights. People are buying flashlights like crazy. And Olight is going, what is going on? Like, this is insane. And I'm like, because it's bikers for kids, man. That and I said, if you don't need a flashlight, then you can just PayPal me. And at the end of this period, so April was Child Abuse Awareness Month. And at the end of April, we said that whatever the commissions were and whatever anyone sent me via PayPal, we would just go get $50 bills and put them in an envelope, and we would take them to the agency and hand them a stack of these $50 bills. Why can we do that? Because there are no rules. We don't need rules. I'm not a charity. They're not a charity. Here's a stack of $50 bills. You hand those out to the children as they leave, and they can go buy a toy. They can go buy a candy. Mom can put gas in the car if it's that situation, whatever. And I told them, if you need to give 5 of them so they get a hotel room, I don't care what you do with it. This is for the kids that have to go through this procedure. Yeah. And I think we're at $6,000.
Wow.
That we're gonna. I think we may have broken 6, honestly. And this is not a well-managed operation. I still got to figure it all out. And what I said was, I'm just going to round it up. And my gut feeling says it's somewhere around 55. So we're just calling it 6, and I'll just cover whatever the difference is. And there's $6,000.
Yeah.
And you give it to those kids, because bikers will do anything for children.
Yeah.
Like no limits, so.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yes,
Way to go, Mrs. Monkey.
Well, and again, man, like I hate to keep bringing this back to the same thing, but sometimes having things the most organized, the most managed, the most, on and on and on, like if you don't start out with a foundation of this is what we do and this is who we are.
Yeah.
Like I love the fact that all this time, all these influencers came into motorcycling and they taught all of us dumb, fat, greasy bikers what we needed to know about marketing, but none of them really bothered to learn about the motorcycle part.
Right.
So we're kind of even now, but
I think you're right. We're even now.
Right.
I think it's evening out. It feels good. Like we were watching a Sturgis video tonight on one of my favorite channels that I watch, and the dude is monetized, but you can tell it's not why he does it. He just does it because he loves going to Sturgis and has been since he was a kid. And I made the comment because I saw him in traffic surrounded with very young dudes. They were like 25, all on street glides, all stretched rear ends, all, the bike, and all wearing tennis shoes, no proper gear, just not ready for the ride at all, And I actually said to her tonight, I go, man, I'm so glad those young brothers and sisters are going to rallies and buying Harleys, because none of us want this culture to die.
Right.
But at the same time, I sure wish they would, tune in instead of broadcasting sometimes.
Right.
Just sit there and listen. Find a gray beard and listen. And that's I hope that I feel like it's happening more.
It is, man. And it's funny. I don't know what age you are, but I can talk from me and Mark. And me and Mark are roughly the same age. And there was a time where we were the young guys that were like, I'll do what I want. I don't need anything more than 3 lights. And if one of them happens to be a working tail light, that's great. And and eventually
one of them was a lighter, by the way.
One of them was a lighter.
It had to be a lighter.
It was an O-light. I'm sorry, shameless plug.
But as you start to grow older and grow up a little bit, and you get a little more refined and stuff, that's all good. I try not anymore, because the young guys used to super piss me off too as I started getting older. And I was like, wow, what are you doing? What are you thinking? And then I had to stop and go, but this is it. I mean, that's the evolution. That's the proper channel of how this has to go, and unfortunately, some of that comes with bumps and bruises.
But we also have a bit of an issue because we've grown older and the bikes that we build get less and less. There's still no front brakes. There's, still the lighter for a light. So,
hey,
I mean,
once in a while there's brakes.
I know, but that's
once
usually
in a while.
1 year from Flintstones.
Yeah, that's when we do it for somebody else. When we build a bike, and I mean, I totally understand what you're saying, and even Chris with the, when you get to that certain point, you start worrying a little bit more about stuff. But man, that culture, that piece of you that's in you is in you, man, no matter what. I'm not a bagger guy by any means. Everything that I own is old and dirty. You know what I mean? And everything that we build is
Heather lost it on
We
that.
talking about bikes still or what?
yeah. Oh yeah. Everything that we build is like 70s and long, and you know what I mean? So I don't think that saying that the Graybeard's going to give you any update on the newer bikes or the bagger or do this or that different. Sometimes that may backfire on you because we're still a little bit nuts. We'll still send the young dude into the wrong situation, sort of get a laugh out of it.
Get him to do this. Get him to do this.
Right. So the hold my beer thing. So, almost the culture's almost lost that because the public's gotten so thin-skinned anymore that you got to watch what you do. So I think that makes a big difference also.
This last Daytona, Bill was in the side chat, Bill Stevens, one of my favorite people, man, because he's got a few years on me, not a bunch, just a few. And yeah, you like how they say I look like Dom DeLuise? That's why that picture's back there. Pricks. Anyway, Bill's one of my favorite dudes because he's got a few years on me, and his bike, I look at it, I go, that would break my spine in a matter of minutes. His friggin' Cowie 680, whatever it is he's built. That thing is just amazing. But he's got 2 or 3 young bloods with him, right? At Daytona with shovels they just put together. That Bill is their freaking priest. He's their monk, showing them how to fix everything. And I sat there just enthralled going, here's the funny thing. I own a chopper. Now, Chris, I need you to come fix it for me. Because I think wiring is the devil. I don't understand wiring.
Amen.
I don't get it. The bike, I bought it from a brother of mine, a good dude. And he says, well, it ran when I parked it.
Oh, I have a couple of those.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Love that line.
Yeah, it ran when I parked it. And it's all Paco. It's a Paco frame. I think it's the Captain America frame, but it's got a 1200 Sporty with Buell heads and Wiseco pistons and a really nice motor sitting in it. But when I bought it, he said, it needs a battery and the gas tank needs to be cleaned out. Well, the tank was just rust with paint on it. Like the paint was holding the rust together. Yeah. That's how shocked the tank was. And I got the click of death. There's something somewhere ain't right. New battery, I got click. That's it. New starter, new relay, I am beyond my abilities now. I'm out of my element. And Bill is like, well, maybe I need to come down there and fix that thing.
Listen, Bill's
wiring makes no sense to me. I can tell you it has an original 1990 Sportster 883 wiring harness.
Bill's a good shit, but when it comes to wiring, and Tom Kiefer's watching tonight, he can attest to this. I despise wiring. I despise it. If a motorcycle has more than 6 wires, I get. And I mean, this comes from, we have a bike that we field at the Bonneville Salt Flats that has all kinds of wires. I'm not even allowed close to any of that shit. The only thing I'm allowed to interact with that is the start button, because I'm so bad with wiring. I can't stand it. And we just did a whole thing with a Dennis Kirk FXR, and Tom Kiefer, God bless him, did all the wiring. And, he had this whole thing going on, man. There's shit flying around everywhere. And all of a sudden it all settles down and he has this beautiful little handmade harness and everything comes together like an electrician does in your house. It was beautiful. And I was like, yeah. He's like,
you're like, my head hurts.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
What's his name again?
Tom Kiefer.
So Tom also has a leather mask with a zipper mouth. There ain't no way you're into wiring and you aren't into the safe word is pineapple. If you're into wires,
yeah,
that's
those
that
shit.
dude, I'm telling you.
Then you also have body parts in your deep freezer. I get it.
Small control problem.
Oh, Jesus.
Well.
Yeah, but listen, if you have a chance for Bill to work on something of yours, he's solid as shit too.
I'm like, I'll buy you a plane ticket and I'll give you all the wire you want. I just stand back and drink and watch. There you go. Because we're all confident once we figure out whatever demon is in that crap harness, it'll just fire right up.
Right.
But whatever. Anyway, because I want to go to. But the point is, I want to go to Daytona next year on it. I want to roll a bill and not go to like enter-in shows, just ride to them,
Yeah.
and just screw around and meet everybody and hang out, because I've loved choppers since I was a kid. I've just always had more late model bikes. I mean, like anything, mid 90s and later, no problem. I got it, but this thing is just a Frankenstein. If anything, I got to figure that out. But a quick comment earlier, you were talking about the Easy Rider coming back. And a funny story, when Easy Rider Classic came back, the wife immediately bought me a subscription to it. I also have a subscription to Cycle Source, by the way. But
thank you, sir.
They of course. But I went to the mailbox. My little girl's 9, and she's the CEO of this house. Right?
Yeah.
And we go to the mailbox, and she goes and she comes back, and I just hadn't thought of it. She gets in the back seat of my truck, and she's giving the mail to me. This is our thing. We go through the mail, and I teach her what a credit card offer is and why this is a scam. And
right on.
And every day we do this. And she all of a sudden she looks at the Easy Riders, and she looks at me, and she looks at the Easy Rider, and she goes, "You can't have this." And she throws it to the other side of the truck. and I was like, "Why can't I have it?" She goes, "Because it has girls in it." And that was just the end of the conversation. Like, I'm not allowed to look at Easy Riders because, but I'm like, "Well, your mother ordered that." She was like, "Well, I'll talk to her when I get home." Like, I thought it was funny. If only she knew what Easy Riders used to be like.
Oh, right.
Right.
Because it absolutely
no.
not the same as that anymore. But
Nice try, but
yeah.
I love it. But yeah, it's not what I peeked at when Dad fell asleep. Right?
not even remotely.
One of the things that I have to say is I was flipping through one of them, and I think it was the last issue that had Paul Cox and Kano's bike on the cover. One of the things I do like about it is it seems like Easy Riders is starting to advance with the times a little bit. There's a few modern bikes in there. That's something we're actually working on doing more of with Cycle Source, even is getting, because you can't deny, like you said, man, not everybody's going to be rocking an old Panhead or Triumph and stuff, and there's so many good custom things that are going on Evo up, so it's good to see them doing some of that too.
I think it goes back to, didn't we say our whole lives, wouldn't it be cool if?
Yep.
Wouldn't it be cool if so there's a minuscule chance that the 114-inch motor that's in my current Geezer Glide that I use every day and the organization shall be named, that motor will come out. Wouldn't it be cool to put that in the chopper?
Yeah.
A modern 114-inch Milwaukee 8.
One of our biggest problems is we say, "Wouldn't it be cool?" and then we do it.
And it's cut up already, and we're like, "Shit! Now we got to fix it."
Well, the problem is my 114 is a wet head. I don't even know what the hell to do with that. Like,
yeah. Well, I'll let you in on a little inside information here. A brother of mine is currently working on a 70s chopper frame for a Milwaukee 8 motor.
Yeah.
So that should be coming out soon, and I can't say too much more about it, but we're gonna do a whole series with him about it, and that bike will be a trip.
I love old stuff. I do, man. I see a knuckle or a pan, and I just get excited in a way that I shouldn't talk about on camera. But the M8 is pretty good. That you could throw parts at it and get some crazy numbers out of that thing. And
Dude,
it starts every time.
I have to be completely honest with you. I'm still waiting for it to completely shit the bed. And the only reason I say that is because it performs so well across the range. And I keep seeing guys push it further and further. And I'm like, listen, because I'm thinking of traditional V-twin motor. And I keep thinking, we got to be getting to the point with this thing where it's going to hand grenade. And they don't. I haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
my wife's CVO is a 117, which is it's marketing because the 117 is just bigger. We all love bigger jugs, but it's just some bigger jugs. It's not anything special. But I threw an SNS 475 cam in it, and just that, and with a good tune, 120 horsepower, 125 pounds torque.
Jesus.
It's just a cam in that 117. That's it. It's the stock pistons, stock heads, everything else is normal, and that thing's a freaking bear. Like it's a hell of a bike.
And
Just
dude,
cam.
consider what you're saying, because I'm not sure how long you've been in motorcycles, but back in the day of Shovelhead, to get true squared performance numbers that's matching torque and horsepower that exceeded your cc of your motor, you know, the cubic inches of your motor. If you were getting that, like, it would cost $10,000-$15,000, and it would be a motor that every time you rode it down the street, you were going to put $50 in a jar because it was absolutely going to blow up any time.
Right.
You know, and now, just like you said, pretty much a set of big jugs and a cam, and you're going to get there. And the part that's amazing to me is that they're lasting.
Yeah, longevity.
Yep.
Yeah,
that same bike at Sturgis 2020 on the alley. I won't use the T-word alley in Glencoe. Everyone else had decided to take a nap before we tied on hard, and I was like, amateurs. They were smart. And I went down to the alley, and they're all like, burn that thing out. I'm like, all right. And I just abused the hell out of that, because that was my bike before it became her bike, right? So I just abused the shit out of that bike all the time, everywhere I went. And it just starts and runs every time. Like, it just says, come on, daddy, hit me harder next time. Like, that's the way that thing is. Like,
well, I think one of the cool things about now is, like Chris is saying, with the longevity out of it. You know, to me, if it breaks down, you're screwed. There's no way you're fixing anything on the side of the road on anything new. But, you know, back in the day, like Chris was saying with the Shovelhead, I know a couple that, you know, were built and played with us. You needed to wear heavy leather chaps, and it wasn't in case you wrecked. It was in case something shot out of the motor and bounced off your leg. So
no shit.
It was like
Dude, I remember Tank that we used to ride with. Tank was having a problem with the front cylinder was blowing head gaskets all the time. And he went through every trick in the book, man, that he was trying to do. Well, he finally showed up and he said, bro, I got it figured out, man. I got me these things called no blow head gaskets, guaranteed not to blow. By the end of that day, we were trucking his bike home because it had blown the entire cylinder off the front of the bike and half of the motor case. But I'll be damned if the cylinder ring was not still attached to the head, to the motor mount, with the head gasket intact. And true to their word, that head gasket did not blow.
That's right.
Well, that wasn't the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but the technology's come so far. And like you guys were saying, hating wiring, dude, that's all that it is wiring and power transfer and electronic transfer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what a difference from, like you were saying, you like the pans and the knuckles and stuff like that. I'm a big Shovelhead fan, and I like pans also. But, you know, the technology was so loose back then, you know? Nothing like it is today.
Hey, so listen, just to clear something up for the Pro Monkey Nation, because I might have said something that was misunderstood. Archosaurus said something about me saying how long you've been into motorcycling. Obviously, we were talking about the performance thing and playing around with performance on Shovelheads versus some of the newer bikes today. I'm not questioning your.
No. One thing I love about the people that watch the channels, they're so, in a great way, protective.
Right on.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah,
like we really do take care of each other. When we first started this out, one of the people that we call him our sergeant at arms as a joke, because he's the one that's like, hit that goddamn like, or Satan's coming for you tonight in bed. Like, that's just, you know, his name's Blacked Out Bandit, and his daughter got sick, and so his wife had started a GoFundMe, and we got wind of it. He would never ask for that. He would never ask for help.
Yeah.
And we just blasted the hell out of that GoFundMe link.
That's great.
And we got her the money she needed for co-pays. We got her moved home. We got, like, that's just, it's family, man. Like, you know, whenever you see someone's bike that's going to be in the show the next day and it's broke, what do you see? In the campground, 3 a.m, 17 dudes laying all over that bike trying to get her running because everybody wants it to be in the show the next day.
And the sad part about it is, like, questionably, that's a question you almost have to ask now, because there's so many people, and like you're saying with your, you know, with your show that you're doing, like, that is for people that haven't been in it long. So to say something like that to somebody isn't even remotely out of line
keeping
anymore.
that
you
family.
know what I mean? Yeah.
You know, we just did this thing, the FXR Friends deal And some tag-alongs with that were me, Xavier, Rick Bray from RKB. The coolest thing that went on that whole thing, it was awesome to ride with, Yaffe and Clock and Trask and all these guys. The coolest thing that went on there was watching Rick Bray as we came down the 200-mile canyon from Winslow, Arizona to Prescott. Every time someone had problems and pulled off to the side of the road, Rick Bray pulled over no matter who it was and worked on their motorcycle. Yeah. He spent the whole day. He was so into it and so giving of everybody his time. That was one of the coolest parts of it. And that's like I'm agreeing with you. That shouldn't be a rarity, man. Right. That's where our culture starts, right?
Yep. Yeah. So the one of the little details when we started this was the whole. I felt like I said earlier, like I grew up in the back of my dad's bike, and I felt that was lacking. And I don't care if you've been riding 5 years. That's fine. That's right. Golden, man. Like I'm welcome.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was the majority, right? That it was 5 years in the saddle. My first Sturgis was 1990. So, and I'm not an old man. I'm not a young man either. But I mean, I went to Sturgis for the first time 32 years ago.
Yeah.
And
damn.
Yeah, right. 1990 was 32 years ago. You're welcome for that.
That's kicking my ass.
And yeah, so I mean, I do look up to the graybeards. I seek them out because we're losing that knowledge, and I want to hear everything they got to say.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, you find them and talk to them, and they're curious about the new stuff. It's freaking cool. They go like, how do you like that Milwaukee 8? And how do you don't jet that thing, right? Like, that's a question I get all the time. How do you jet that thing? And I'm like, there's a stupid little computer on my dash that little boxes bounce around while it's tuning. And I just go, looks like it's working. That's how it works.
Yeah, there's a fuse.
There's a fuse. That's what I'll tell them from now on. It's a special fuse.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You jet that with a fuse.
Well, let's talk for a minute about the BACA group and some of the work that they do. We definitely want to get to that and talk about the 100-year ride before we let you go here.
So first off, I told y'all in the back room, I am not international PR. I'm not, cleared to speak on the behalf of the organization. So in my videos, I would say the organization shall not be named.
Uh-huh.
I first joined the organization that shall not be named 18 years ago in Missouri. And coming up on May 21st, in just about every city in the U.S. and in 17 countries, every single chapter has what's called the 100-mile ride. Now, the funny history to this is, years ago, this is the only time of year that these chapters let anyone come for a ride with us. Just a ride. Mm-hmm. It's just a ride. But we found that anything longer than 100 miles was too far. For a lot of people.
For
so
anybody to come.
The 100-mile ride. We capped it at 100 miles, and but a lot of chapters go a lot further than that for fun. But so wherever you are, there's a 100-mile ride by the local chapter, and if you want to go out, support the chapter, meet them, learn a little more about the organization, what it works. I also would say, if you search YouTube for Bikers Against Child Abuse, there's a video that International put together that tells the story way better than I ever can. And I can tell you from the channel, when I do every once in a while I do videos on some culture protocol stuff. Not a lot, because there's other channels for that, but every once in a while. When someone says, you're blah, 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 it's YouTube. You know as well as anybody, somebody's always got something stupid to say. And I always just reply with, here's the link to the organization I'm talking about. If you're a real man, you'll come back and apologize.
Yeah.
And they do a lot. A lot of the time they come back and go, watch the video. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like I didn't pay attention, and I understand it. There's a lot of scumbags out there. But yeah, so.
Well, we just put the link up for the national BACA at bacaworld.org. People were asking where can they get information about the local rides. I'm assuming through that site you can find everything that you need. And I believe
if you find your local chapter, all the local chapters will have an email link that you can click that'll send someone a message, whether it be the president or the secretary or whatever. And you can say, hey, I want to go on the 100-mile ride. What's the situation? And they'll let you know.
And I think
So-
on their national site, if you scroll down here, there's a thing that says chapters.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm
Let's
sorry,
see.
Chris. Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go.
So if you hit that by country, and then you can do by state and then by city, and you'll find your local chapter. And then on each local chapter page, there's an email link where you can click it and email the local chapter and say, hey, I want to, what's the deal in your 100-mile ride? It's the 21st everywhere in 17 countries. It's all the same day.
Right on. Well, listen, we've been every opportunity we get to pass information that BACA is doing. It like you said, there isn't a motorcyclist in the world that won't do anything for kids. And this was from the very onset of this organization. This is one of the most important things that we can be involved in as a child safety. And, obviously we commend them. Anything that we can do for them all the time. Get out and check out that link. Get involved. Get to the local chapter and find out how you can get on that ride.
Awesome. I appreciate that. That's great. So
Yes, sir.
there's just from the channel, I get emails from chapters going, who the hell are you? And why did 4 people just show up to our meeting last month? Like they watch the channel and they see my cut in the background on accident. I don't mean to, but it'll be laying back there. And then they find the website. Man, YouTube fans are amazing. They'll find the website and then find the chapter, and then they will show up to a meeting, and it's cool. It's really cool. But yeah.
Right on. Well, what's next for you? What's the next trip? What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to Disney World in June with my daughter. No, next for me will be Sturgis.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lull the next couple of months of like rally stuff. Just got back from Leesburg. That's actually one of my favorite rallies because it's only 3 days long, and we go to a campground called Windy Acres in Fruitland Park, Florida, and it's private. And inside that campground for those 3 days, it feels like a rally in the 80s. It's wild. Like there are no rules. It's fun. So much fun. Every person we get to come visit us at the campground says, I'm doing this every year the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming to this, and we had a blast. So we just came back from Leesburg. It's kind of a lull over the next couple of months between, real work and this, that, and the other. I will probably do some performance upgrades to the 21 Ultra I just built, or rebuilt. But I'm not sure what that's going to be. That's just, I don't plan. And then we'll be rolling to Sturgis in late July, and I'll arrive on the 5th at the Buffalo. We're at the Buffalo Chip.
Right on.
The 5th through the 12th or 13th. And that's been our home since I was a kid. My first Sturgis in 1990 was the Buffalo Chip, and the things I saw as a young man changed me forever.
Well, and let's make plans for sure, because I know we're going to be doing at least one live show from Sturgis. I would love to make sure that we get hooked up and do some stuff together there. But more importantly, I want to invite you formally to come to the Smokeout. If you want to show up there, we'll take care of everything to have you be a part of that and give your assessment of that, because that's what we're trying to do with Smokeout. We're putting a sign right at the gate that says, if toxic masculinity offends you, please turn around. Do not come in. Don't ask anybody to change any shit for how you feel about it. It's an old time.
I'm a huge fan of toxic femininity. That's the best.
Right.
Like, that's awesome. Like,
well, having a woman that favorite term is the SMD term.
Yeah,
that's
that'd be fun. That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, like I said, you're welcome, and we'll take care of everything there if you want to come out and Sturgis for sure. Definitely, let's get hooked up and do some stuff together in Sturgis, and let us know what we can promote for you out there.
That'd be fun. Well, the Dennis Kirk show is at the Iron Horse on the 7th. Am I saying that wrong? What date is that?
Heather, do you have a date yet?
I believe it's Saturday. I don't know what the date is.
6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Right on.
I already
We'll be there.
told our friends that, we'll be there.
Their show's Saturday. Our show's Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. So just don't make fun of me, because I'll be on my geezer glide.
Hey,
Don't make fun of my,
Listen, in spite of all of Mark's tough talk, we have we've shared many travel motorcycles over the years. Not shared.
You know what?
Not
And
like
also
that.
with
Not that there's anything wrong
not
with
there's
that.
anything wrong with that.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
And again, like I'm saying, not that there's anything wrong with baggers and this and that, but when you go back to what you like and what you prefer, obviously you can see what me and Chris like just by what we build. So,
and then you see us.
It's not a choice. I mean, I have the '08 Crossbones, and I have a modern Heritage that I choloed out last year, and those are the bikes that my wife and I like to ride.
Yeah.
Like that's what we like to ride is our Softails, but the organization shall not be named requires lots of storage and paperwork, and you just can't do it. Like I'd be going down the road with teddy bears in my cut, and you can't do it. So you got to have my tour pack is full at all times of stuff I have to have.
Well, and Heather and I have a trip coming up pretty soon. We're planning on doing the Alaskan Highway, and I'm doing it for the second time. It's going to be her first, and that's one thing for sure. Like you definitely
Yeah, that's
don't
not going to be on a chopper.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's going to be on the Ultra.
Yep.
They have their place. I mean, like you got to have. So the wife and I always say you need 3 bikes. You need your dresser, which by the way, I don't believe in the word bagger. It doesn't exist. I don't know where that came from.
Amen.
Where the hell it had a word? It's a dresser. It's always been a dresser. Where did the world bag? I reject that word. I'm sorry. It's also a sissy bar, not a backrest, and it's a crash bar, not an engine guard. So anyway, I think I'm preaching to the choir a little bit there.
Yeah, that's great.
But you got to have that, and then you should have a Softail, and then you should have something that will probably break. Like you should have those three bikes, the ones you need.
We have a lot
This is
of
beautiful.
something that will probably break.
4 shots? What?
Hey,
What? What's
yeah,
happening?
look,
4
it's shot
shots.
time.
4 shots.
Shot time.
See why? I'm married to the devil. I don't know if you knew that or not. Oh, the devil and a Dixon. That's it. Devil. She's wearing her biker Gucci, which is, Dixon flannels, Salud.
Right?
Love you all to death.
So great.
He just runs it like it's a drive-by shots. What the hell was that?
How do I make that happen here? Damn.
All right, man. Well, listen.
Works for us, but I don't know. We're unprofessional, though.
Tell everybody where they can keep up with you and in full. I know Heather's going to put this stuff up on the screen, but tell everybody where to watch the latest from Professional Monkey.
Yeah, appreciate it. So on YouTube, we're Professional Monkey. Obviously, you can just Google that. And then on Facebook, we have a Professional Monkey group, page, whatever you want to call it, that we interact. And then on Instagram, we are Pro Monkey Rider. And one of the things that we love is that we interact obsessively. It's like I read every single comment and I try to reply. If it's rude, then I will reply appropriately. but I read every single comment. I try to reply to everyone. Same thing with the Facebook and the Instagram page. But that's where we are. Nothing else. I don't do TikTok. I'm a grown ass man.
Oh, do you ever hear me tell the story about the time that our daughter convinced me that I had to get Snapchat for the magazine?
No, but I want to hear. Okay.
So
did you get any dates?
I've always prided myself on being the latest with social media. I mean, I was always broke as a joke. So coming up, the magazine started as a little free newspaper thing, and we grew it manually over time. And a lot of that was like when there was a MySpace, I got MySpace. I had websites. I did bulletin boards. I did everything I could to promote the magazine. Well, Facebook came out, I got Facebook. Instagram came out, I got Instagram. Snapchat came out, and she was like, Dad, you really got to get Snapchat. I was like, okay. I figured this is the next thing in line. I get Snapchat. I put a thing out to tell everybody on all the rest of our social media and website, CycleSource now has Snapchat. I got 395 pictures of male genitalia that night.
So your daughter sets you up, man. That's what happened.
And the next day I told her she couldn't have Snapchat anymore either.
Yeah, it's true, man. Like my wife is visually gifted, and not just that she's hot. Yeah, that's given. Which, by the way, Chris, we're both punching way above.
Oh, I know. I'm married way up too. I'm married way up.
They think there's money hidden somewhere. I haven't figured that out.
No, trust me, I know.
They ain't no money.
I
Mine think I don't know. But
I know for sure my wife likes a project. Yep.
She can fix you. But a side note, you were talking about the bagger racing earlier, and I'm a fan. It's fun. I think it's like racing a Mercury Grand Marquis, but I think it's still fun to watch. But the fact that they race with one saddlebag full of ice down beer and the other side with an ice down bottle of Fireball. That is brilliant. Like, I love that. I get behind that, you know, because aren't we all doing, that's what the bags are for. We all know that, right?
Yep. That's it, buddy. 100%. Yeah, and back then we didn't really call it racing as much as we called it running from the cops.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Dodging the law.
That was performance baggers back in the day.
Right.
Ah, shit. All right, well, listen, man, it's been a blast having you here with us tonight. Thank you so much for taking some time, and I really hope that we get hooked up in Sturgis and wish you the best on what you're doing.
I appreciate it. It's awesome. I mean, before we got on tonight, last thing I'll say is as supportive as my wife is, she's like, we watch Cycle Source all the time. And then tonight she's on the page poking around and she's like, did you know they had Jay Leno on? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, why are you on that? Like,
nice.
Love you, babe. That's
Dude,
great.
It sounds so much like my wife. So much. I finally get to play with one of my bands at one of the big stages. I think the first one was in Daytona. And she was managing the Broken Spoke back then.
Oh, yeah.
And she got me a gig on the big stage. And as I'm going up, she says, hey, do me a favor. Don't suck. My job is on the line here. And she walked away.
As much as you normally do.
Seriously, man? This is the best encouragement you can give me right now.
Yeah, so now anytime he does something like that, anytime he plays a show or whatever,
Raced at Sons of Speed. Yeah, that's what she told me before she sent me out on a 100-year-old motorcycle. Hey, don't suck and try not to be a pussy.
No, what I said in all fairness was, if you're gonna do this, then do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can remember. You weren't allowed there for a little while.
I wasn't allowed where?
To race any of that stuff.
Oh. No.
No, he couldn't ice race bored to death. He can race.
That's because she loves that motorcycle.
Yeah.
I proudly was trying to explain the dynamic of Cycle Source, and I said, well, Chris once did something with a burning semi through the Broken Spoke.
Oh.
Yeah. Heather
was the boss of the Broken Spoke in Sturgis, and my wife's like, so are we describing like a Ghostbusters, you know, gatekeeper and keymaster situation here? Like,
real
if
close.
we met, the world would end. Like, I'm like, oh, maybe.
We've gotten ourselves in a little trouble. Christ, we lit the parking lot on fire.
Yep. In Sturgis, $2 million fine.
I like your energy. I like where your head's at.
Well,
all right, man. Well, listen, we're gonna cut you loose. One more round of shots on us, and we'll take it home.
Let's do that.
Shots.
The missus didn't run in, so I guess we're doing this.
The door should be opening any second.
Yeah. Wait a second.
Wait. Wife.
Where's your backup?
Come on.
All right, Professional Monkey Nation. This one's for you.
It's all fine.
I think she's abandoned you.
No, she's coming. Come on. This is my life right here. This is everything.
It's the greatest, right?
I was just letting my hair down.
You're just letting your hair down. We have to close out the night. One last shot.
All right, one last one.
She has to fix her hair. So hair and makeup.
Right.
You need fans blowing your hair.
Here's two.
Love you all to death. We really appreciate it. The best, man.
All right,
Bye, guys.
Thanks for being on.
You guys are awesome.
All right. Take it easy, man. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. You guys are watching Shop Talk. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We got lots more still to get through. We're going to take a quick opportunity right now and recap our time at TMMR last year. This was voted by you, the readers, as Cycle Source Reader's Choice Best Event of 2021. Let's go see things at the Loretta Lynn's Ranch. So undoubtedly one of our favorite events of 2021 was the Tennessee Motorcycle and Music Revival held at the Loretta Lynn's Ranch in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. Let's go on location. Now, if you, like us, are big fans of that down-home, backwoods kind of motorcycle event, this one's going to be right up your alley. On 3,500 acres of the Loretta Lynn's Ranch, there is a really, really good feel about this property. Everything you would imagine from a national event, you know, with the Ives Brothers Wall of Death, plenty of camping and RV spaces. They even have something called glamping, which are like the fancy little yurt type of tents, I think they're called. But even more than that, they've been adding to it year after year. This year they had the Flat City Flat Tracks. Of course, we want to talk about the BC Moto Invitational by Bill Dodge. Honestly, some of the best bikes that came out from the top names in the industry, all lined up in a beautiful horse corral. Even more than all the national level stuff that you'd expect, there was the creekside bonfires, people swimming in the creek all day. It was really laid back and chill, and the kind of event that we want to go to. Heather and I did get a chance to rip off and do some riding on something wicked, which in this part of the country you can't go wrong. Long choppers, I advise you to set back some riding time so you can go check out the Twisties and Hurricane Mills. We had an absolute blast with it. Everything from, you know, partially covered roadways where we went into the shade to riding along big farms with hay fields and stuff. It was a blast. All of that down home feel, and then you had the added bonus that the major headliner this year was Billy Gibbons. So V-Twin Visionary put on their show there in conjunction with Harley Davidson. So it was a nice rounded out show, everything from choppers on one side with BC Moto to some of the latest in performance customs with V-Twin Visionary. I would definitely put this one on your calendar for this year. You can tell them the guys over at Cycle Source Magazine's ShopTalk sent you. And this is Chris with Cycle Source. You've been on location. Yeah, no question why this one was voted best event, man. The grounds alone, you cannot beat that place for an event. Cannot beat it.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful environment down there.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it this year.
So typically we run for an hour and a half on this show. We are way over time tonight, and we still have feature bike and some other stuff. I think we're going to hold that over until next week. What do you guys think?
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
It was, man.
So
It
much
was.
fun.
You know, it's funny. Like sometimes you get somebody on and you think that it's going to be a great interview, and all of a sudden it's like, Jesus, we've only been doing this for 12 minutes. We still got to like stretch this out a little bit.
To him for like another hour.
Absolutely.
Like we need to have him on again. He was so much fun.
Didn't even
And
seem
actually,
like
next
an
time I want to
interview.
have Mrs. Monkey on. I want to have his wife on.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew you and him were going to hit it off too, Mark.
Yeah, it sort of fits.
We could have such a good episode of Wise Ass with him. So
Oh, my
listen,
Lord.
Professional Monkey, if you're still watching, we have this idea for a show that we want to call Wise Ass, and it's like the old guys that used to sit around and poke at us and just say whatever wise ass thing was on their mind. It may work out. It might not be great. We'll see what happens.
It would be way funny.
The first episode needs to be the three of you sitting in lawn chairs on Main Street in Sturgis.
Would hurt a lot of feelings. That's all I have
or
to tell
or
you.
Chillicothe.
Dude. Wow.
When he started talking about the flashlight and was like, I don't know how to do a promo with the flashlight, I was like, don't talk about
Oh, you
Chillicothe.
told me that
Don't
story.
talk
No,
don't talk about
Come on,
Chillicothe.
that's funny.
Look, he says he's down for Wise Ass.
Right?
All right, man. Well, listen, we're going to wrap this one up. It's been a hell of a night. Thank you guys so much. Look, it's the parking lot's still full of people. You guys stayed with us till the very end. Thank you so much. Get out. I will remind you, get over to Cycle Source Magazine's news blog, the Cycle Source World Report, and check out everything that's going on with the Smoke Out, the new issue that's out on newsstands now. lots of good stuff, man. We're gearing up quick. Like this is where we switch into second gear for the next half of the year. So get ready for it.
Send Fireball. I'm gonna need it.
Jesus, we're not even to month 5 yet. We just crossed the line.
No,
It's just starting.
Oh, wait a minute, real quick. Happy birthday to my sister.
See?
Oh, look at that. You
Cannot
almost
close
forgot.
out the show. Today was her
Yep.
birthday. Happy birthday, Michelle.
Happy birthday. And for the rest of you guys, until we get together next week, God willing, thank you for the Dennis Kirk people letting us in the studio. The back door was open once more, and we took over for a successful show. And next week when you pull in, we'll be here waiting for another 90 to 120 minutes, all the bullshit we can fit. Same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Happy birthday, Felicia.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for their continued support, and we hope you pay them a visit when you're in the market for great motorcycle parts, products, and events. S&S Cycle, Makuni American, Baco Parts, The Broken Spoke Saloon, Twisted Tea, The Iron Horse Saloon, High Seas Rally, Twisted Choppers, Twin Power, Drag Specialties, Geico, Law Tigers, Tech Cycle, Fueling Parts, Lone Star Rally, Hijinks Apparel, Progressive Insurance, Spectra Oil, No School Choppers, Motion